name is Greg Hoffman, co-owner of Urban Pump Personal Training Studios with my wife Sharon. Been in the business for 30 years. I've owned Urban Pump Studio with my wife for 9 years now. I am creator of the High Strength Training Program, which is a very efficient exercise program that builds a beautiful body with only 2 20-minute workouts a week. This video, I want to talk about a rehab exercise that is very valuable for somebody that has a condition known as Patella Femoral Syndrome. It's more common with women than it is with men, although men do tend to get Patella Femoral Syndrome from time to time. And what Patella Femoral Syndrome is, it's simply a knee tracking issue. The patella tendon, or the patella, isn't tracking quite right on the knee. It's usually tracking a little on the lateral side of the knee, and that just leads to a lot of pain when somebody has to do some motion with that leg. If it's not corrected or rectified, it can lead to some wearing down of the tendons and connective tissues underneath the kneecap. It's known as chondromalacia, among other things, and eventually some arthritis and just general chronic pain of the knee. That's unnecessary. Really what's causing the Patella Femoral Syndrome is sometimes it's a tight IT band, which is that thick fibrous tissue on the outside of the leg, and it attaches to the kneecap, tends to pull it outward. Not so much that though, as it is the fact that people that have Patella Femoral Syndrome tend to have more of a weak vastus medialis. Let me explain that a little bit. You've got the quadriceps, which is the whole thigh area. There are 4 muscles that constitute that. You have the vastus lateralis, which is on the outside. You have the vastus medialis, which is on the inside. Then you have the rectus femoris. And the other one, the name escapes me at the moment. But anyway, all 4 of those are supposed to work in conjunction to contract and make movement for the knee. Anyway, it's the vastus medialis that tends to get weak. The vastus lateralis and the IT band tends to stay strong when somebody gets a Patella Femoral Syndrome, and that knee doesn't track quite right. It can be rectified if you really isolate the vastus medialis. Now, most exercises that work the leg, lunges, squats, leg presses, any of those things, when you do them, they work all the muscles of the legs. They'll work the vastus lateralis and the vastus medialis and the other 2 thigh muscles all in conjunction. So if there's a weakness between the vastus medialis and the vastus lateralis, those exercises don't correct that. They can further exacerbate that imbalance between the 2. So you really need to isolate the vastus medialis and strengthen it to bring it up to par. Cool thing is that if you do it, the knee pain goes away and you have full range of motion. I've seen it several times with the clients that I've worked with over the years, but this is the exercise you need to do. Bottom line is, once again, we want to isolate the vastus medialis. The exercise I'm going to show, that I'm going to demonstrate today, is known as the terminal knee extensions. I don't know why they call it that. Physical therapists came up with it years ago. It's a name that doesn't seem to make much sense, but nevertheless the exercise works very well. So the way you would do it is if you have a cable cross machine like what I have here. This is a functional trainer, but also cable crossover machines. What's important is that if you're able to get the pulley that adjusts upward and downward, something like that, then you can adjust the pulley to be a little bit lower. You want it about in alignment with the knee, and I'll show you why in a second. All right. First of all, you're going to put the weight on it that you want, and I'll explain that in a second, what it would be a good starting point. And then you're going to need some kind of a strap. We use a yoga strap. And you're going to put it around the handle and fasten it. Loop it around, make a knot so it stays in place. Like so. Then the next thing you're going to do I'll move the handle over the way so that I can still stay in the shot and show you. The next thing you're going to do is put the band around the back of the knee, just above the knee, okay? The lower portion of the hamstrings. Then you're going to step back far enough from the machine so that when your legs are straight, the weight stacks aren't touching. They're about 6 inches from touching. This is your starting point, all right? Now, the motion is very simple. All you're going to do is bend the knee that the band's around and then straighten it again. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. The straightening of the knee is what engages the vastus medialis without getting the vastus lateralis involved. You're just going to isolate the vastus medialis. And after you do about 10 or 15 repetitions, you really feel it. You feel it right in the vastus medialis. If you don't, then that means the weight's either too light or your form is off. So once again, to reiterate the way the form should be, you're just going to bend that knee and straighten. Things to keep in mind is that when you do this, all you want is the motion to happen around this knee. The hip stays stable. The right leg, if you're doing the right leg, the left leg stays straight, and you don't rock the body. You just isolate that knee that you're working, and that's it. Okay? So you're going to bend the knee about 4 to 6 inches, straighten the knee. And what can make it even more intense, actually, is holding it for a split second with it fully locked out. You will feel the vastus medialis engage. All right? Do one side, and then do the same with the other. Interestingly, there's a lot of people I train that when they have Patella Femoral Syndrome, a lot of times it's only just one knee. And if that's the case, if that's what you're experiencing, then just do that knee. You do not have to do the other one. But if you're feeling on both, then do both. And once again, keep the right leg straight in this case. Bend the left knee, straighten. Left knee straight, bend, straighten. Keep the hips facing forward. Don't rotate the upper body. It's very simple. Simple, simple, simple. And that's all you need to do. You'll want to do the terminal knees every workout, probably for the first 4 to 6 weeks at least. And if your knees don't feel much better, you may want to continue it for longer still. But really, after about the first month, if you do this right, then you're going to have a lot less pain in that knee. As a matter of fact, don't be surprised if you're pain-free. Full range of motion when you do your leg presses or lunges, because it works that well. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind is that, first of all, when it comes to rehab exercises, it's not the same kind of strength training exercises as doing a regular lift would be, like doing a bench press with a rep range between 8 to 12 with a fair amount of weight that you get a deep fatigue in the muscle. Rehab's a different approach. You're going to want to use a lighter weight and higher repetition protocol. For some reason, that works very well with rehab. I've noticed it with the Patella Femoral Syndrome. I've also noticed it when I worked with clients that were injured in a car accident, for example, and they have a lot of trauma in their tissues. Lightweight, very high repetition is the way to go. It's really going to be that way with this. So here's a rule of thumb, something to keep in mind. When you do these exercises, I find that you need to be around the 40 to 50 repetition range, in all honesty. So you're not going to get a deep burn. You're going to feel some fatigue. You're going to feel that muscle work, and that's fine. And just be progressive over time. So a good starting weight I would recommend would be 30 pounds on the machine. Start with 40 reps. Next workout, do 45. Workout after that, do 50. Then after that, increase to 35 pounds. Start with 40 reps, 45, 50. Then after that, go to 40 pounds, 40, 45, 50 on the repetition range. Then 45, 40, 45, 50. Then 50, 40, 45, 50. Maybe even go up to 55 pounds. But by the time you get up into the 50, 55 pounds on your terminal knee extensions, high repetition range, problem should be solved. And if it's not, then you're probably going to need to see your doctor and see what else is going on. But in essence, that's what's known as terminal knee extensions. It's what we use to help people improve the strength of their vastus medialis and alleviate the pain from Patella Femoral Syndrome. and have a healthy knee. Thank you very much.